Hey, welcome back inside the Mind of Matt. I made a wire stripper out of a treadmill. You want to see? Make sure you watch the rest of this video. Stay tuned. So if you haven't been watching my videos and following me and my YouTube channel, you wouldn't know, but I'm an electrician, and that's why I got into the metal casting, because I had a bunch of scrap laying around that I have collected from the jobs and everything. So let me disclaim this from the get-go that this was built prior to me having a channel or anything. I'm just out in the garage. I have to do a little bit of wire stripping, and I figured I'd introduce you to my homemade DIY wire stripper that I made out of a treadmill. So just to tell you the little story real quick, one day somebody threw a treadmill out to the curb right next door to me. So me being the scrapper and collector and tinkerer that I am, I grabbed it and I got it to work pretty much right away. It was just a safety switch that was not being connected, and I took it apart and made the connection, and boom, treadmill worked. So it sat there for years, just kind of tucked in my corner of my garage, and I knew at some point I'd have a project for it. And then I was looking on YouTube to try to find other people's ideas as how they made their own wire stripper. And I saw this one video where this guy made a wire stripper out of
the rollers of an old paper press.
I'm like, that treadmill has rollers. So I started to dissect, and I did some welding, took some spare parts from this, that, and the other, and I made myself a wire stripper out of a treadmill. So just a quick breakdown of it. This part, the outer part, is actually the frame of the treadmill. I do believe I have some pictures of it prior to me modifying it to the format that it's in now. I'll throw them in there at some point. But the motor that originally came with burnt out pretty quick, but I had this spare motor laying around, wired that up. If you see that the gap is variable, so if I got smaller gauge wire, I'll throw it in over here. If I got larger gauge wire, or actually I can stick a whole piece of Romex right in there. I'll demonstrate how this works here in a minute. But then I added this guide, which I can pretty much go back and forth, and I just feed it in there. So just one extra safety feature. Got it wired up to my fancy foot pedal. Just hooked up to an outlet box that I just got the motor plugged into, and press the pedal, and I can make it stop and make it go. So, without further ado, I got a bunch of scrap over there, some buckets that I've got for the good stuff. I'll show you how this thing works. Now, I might have forgotten to mention this, but when I made this, I tried to put stranded through it, but it kind of crushed it. So this is just good enough to do solid, which it'll do really small stuff all the way up to 10 gauge is pretty much the most common solid stuff that I run across. But 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 14 gauge, 16 gauge, we'll even do the small stuff like 22 that's in your phone wire. But here we go. Like that. So that's my treadmill converted into a wire stripper. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe while you're here, leave a comment down in the comment section, check out all my affiliate links, and if you really like to see my other stripper, make sure you let me know. Thanks again.